Nate.
So, hi and good evening and welcome to the IBD Ostomy Support Show. I'm Louise, aka Crohn's Fighting. Tonight we are discussing returning back to the gym after ostomy surgery. We are discussing Supportwear. We're also discussing hernias and the importance of wearing Supportwear. We have Lorraine from Comfys joining us this evening, and they are one of the top. Any leaflets when you've had ostomy surgery, you will normally be given a leaflet that has got Comfys in it. So we will cross that in a minute. So what have I been up to this week? I have been the Pied Piper of children. I have had everybody's child apart from my own. I'm rather tired. I'm rather cranky. And I can't wait to go on holiday next week. And I will be off for a week, but hey ho. I don't think Natalie's joining us this evening, purely because it is the summer holidays and we all have family commitments, so we can't always be at the show's beck and call. Natalie, however, has been working very hard behind the scenes and has a lot going up this week with regards to stories and hernia support and gym wear. So please check out Natalie's posts because they're always brilliant. And I do believe she's also got an interview going up as well from somebody.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Is it Ali?
That athlete. Yeah, Ali something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know the surname.
Ali Jawar, is it?
Yeah,
that's the one.
Jawar, something like that.
Yeah. So Nat has an interview going up with him as well. So please take a look at the show page. I will now pass you over to Steffi. It's so hot in here.
I'm Steffi. I'm colitis to ostomy. My lovely boss, obviously, because I write for Comfys too. Been on the show for a couple of weeks. Last week was because I was in Leeds at a gig, which if any of you saw any of the little stupid lives I attempted, then yeah, I had an amazing night. It was great. And then drove down to Cornwall. I say I drove, Stephen drove. Came with his dad. Oh, it was lovely. Even Stephen wouldn't let me stop off in Bournemouth though, which was really annoying because obviously there's Rachel there and there's Jasmine was there and Lauren from Purple Wings, so that really annoyed me that I couldn't stop. But and the week before I just had a lot of personal issues and my face looked like a puffer fish, so it wouldn't have been appropriate for the screen really. So I just couldn't have dealt being on the show at all. But I'm going to pass you over to Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel, rocking 2 stomas. I'm sorry about last week. Last week, I think I might have caused a problem because I signed out and then I was going to sign back in 10 minutes later and then I couldn't sign in at all. So I'm sorry about that. This week, I managed to write a blog post, but now my blog's been silly and I'm not able to put it out about affirmations and for chronic illness. I've been to a funeral today. One of my friends I met in hospital had bladder cancer. I met two. There was 3 of us, and both of them have passed now. So I was very very upset today, and didn't expect to be that upset. And everybody was so amazing, and I just bawled the whole time. And I think it just sort of put things into perspective for me. And it's just sad because we used to joke when we went into hospital, and it was just it kind of makes you realise that illness is. It's sort of, even when you think you're going to be okay, sometimes it's not the case. It just kind of put everything into perspective. So there's some stuff I need to sort out, some personal stuff I've got to sort out. But I'm hoping next week, I'm off to Birmingham to go to the Convatec lecture on Sunday, and then I'm hoping next week I then get back onto my blogging. So,
you need to update. You need to update the thing that you put on your page then, because you said that you wasn't going to the Convatec.
Wasn't going.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant I was. Did I misspell it? Oh, my spelling is terrible.
You said you wasn't going.
Oh, I meant I was going. Oh no, my spelling. Okay, I need to change that, and I am going. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, that's me. So how about you, Steve?
I'm Steve. Hashtag bagdaddy. It's live now. That is. This week, well, I've had 2 weeks off work. The kids have been stopping with me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We went to an assault course on water on the Wednesday, no, on the Tuesday, where I joined in, but there was a part of it where you have to go underneath these balls, so you're on your tummy. I nearly took my bag off, so that rips on the top. I had to get out of the water sharpish. Luckily, I hadn't eaten beforehand, so there was no output at all. But that was a little bit of a dangerous one.
That's
Kids loved it.
Bit of a no shit moment.
I tell you what, it was one of them ones, you know, like the army when you have to go on hands and knees and camo through the underneath. It was a close call. But back to work today, and that's pretty much been my week. To be fair, not a lot gone on. Health-wise, feeling good. Mentally feeling good. So over to you, Lorraine. Hello.
Lorraine, you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sorry, Lorraine, my fault.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just lost you there. I couldn't quite catch what you were saying, and I was guessing you were introducing me. Hi, everybody.
Sorry,
yeah, it's very exciting to be on anything like this before. I'm the joint owner with my husband of Comfies, who you'll all know, hopefully, Stoma Supportwear. Yeah, we're just pushing at the moment, developing lots of new products. We're very passionate about what we do. I don't have a stoma myself, but our company came about because my dad had an ileostomy, and we were making sportswear at the time, and we just adapted what we were doing to try and help him just live more comfortably with his stoma, and it seemed to work because business has grown out of it. And we also have a son who has Crohn's and had to have bowel surgery at the age of 13. So we've got connections with, you know, bowel issues. And this week we've been working our Pants to Hernias campaign, which is trying to bring about awareness of the risks of hernias with a stoma, and really trying to get people to switch from ordinary underwear to something supportive, because clinical trials now show that has a dramatic effect on reducing the risk of developing a hernia. And unfortunately, if you're unlucky enough to get a hernia, then we've got Supportwear to help you manage that. So that's making me a cup of tea. Noser will be here in a second to join me, but he can't hear because I've got the headphones on.
I should have been wearing my work t-shirt with Pants to Hernia on the back.
Oh yeah, that would have been
cool.
Because I've got a pink one and a black one.
No, that's pretty good.
I never thought of that. That would have been good. Yeah, we should do that next time.
Yeah. And drinking my Comfies, my tea.
Well, yeah, I should do that as well, shouldn't I? Maybe he'll bring me a cup of tea in my Comfies mug.
I can't wait for September. I'm going to have my unicorn cup that says I like to stab stupid people in the head. So that's going to be my cup forever now. That is going to be my forever cup. So you got me onto the unicorn chain gang.
Oh, well, I've got a Comfies cup, and whenever people come round, I make cups of tea and coffee in them and hand them about, and like just have it on the side. And
oh, it's very subtle, Steffi.
Of course. I can keep secrets, but I'm not subtle.
But anything she wears when she wears her support belt from Comfies, you'll always see the Comfies, regardless of what she's wearing. You always see the little logo.
I was in my when we were at the Purple Wings, Jasmine the next day she was like pulling at my vest. She was like, "What are you wearing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm wearing my Comfies vest." I'm like, you know, why wouldn't I be? And she was like, "That's fair enough." Because obviously Jasmine are all the pretty things, and you know, like. If I want support, Comfies. If I want pretty things, Jasmine.
Exactly. And the same, you know, vanilla blush stuff as well. It's all the pretty stuff, and I'm not saying our stuff is not attractive, but it has a very different functional role.
Well, Jasmine's is very more intimate, isn't it? Really, like that sort of thing. And like I prefer the vanilla blush prescription knickers. Actually, I don't like. I'm not really keen on the stuff you buy. I actually prefer that. But that's just me. Lots of people are different. But then again, I have that much Comfies stuff. I don't really need to wear anything that's not Comfies, to be honest.
But I do think it's important that there is a choice out there. There needs to be, you know, something for everybody.
We're all individual.
Competition's good. You know what I mean? I mean, you're probably aware that I represent Vanilla Blush. I'm one of their advocates.
I've seen your video. Yeah.
I'm a model.
I know.
I know, it's
You
nice.
make ever such a fetching model, darling. Have you been
And the calendar boy.
and the calendar
Yeah,
boy?
that's true.
Have you been on the website recently? Because it's your photo right at the top.
It is.
Is it
Of
really?
the VB website, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're like, me and Rachel have been checking. We're going, that's our Steve.
Yeah, to be honest, it's healthy to have competition. You know, not only does it bring prices down, there's always room for, you know, it's not like a massive market really when it comes to people who are making garments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it is. It's always healthy to have competition. And like I say, you just need to have a choice for people, because not everyone's going to like vanilla blush and not everyone's going to like comfies. But as long, the main thing is you can find my perspective. Obviously, I'm really concerned about the support. People need to be able to find something that they like, that makes them feel good wearing it, but that's going to give them support to protect them from a hernia if they haven't already got one.
I'm so happy right now because obviously Lorraine's from Yorkshire and I'm finally not the only northerner on the show.
Oh yeah.
Hey!
I've got someone else from Yorkshire.
I'm the only Midlander.
I'm the only southerner.
I'm the only Welser, although I don't live in Wales.
What a unique bunch we are.
We are.
Okay, so what should we start with first tonight? Should we start with the gym? Should we start with hernias, or should we start with supportwear?
Hernias, let's
Supportwear, because I went and ran and got all my stuff. That's what I ran away from myself.
Yeah, we won't tell you a half hour before the show. We'll go, oh my God, I can't find it. Okay, right. So we'll start with hernias and supportwear. So Lorraine was telling us that the statistics for people with who've had ostomy surgery, that the statistics for developing hernias are over 50% of ostomates have the surgery, over 50% of the ostomates that have the surgery done, if they're not using the correct hernia support that they advise you to wear when you've had the surgery done and when you come out of hospital, over 50% are going to develop hernias. And that is a research.
I'm sorry, Louise, you broke up then. I didn't hear what you said.
I said you were saying about the research and the polls that over 50% of ostomates that have ostomy surgery will end up with a hernia.
That's right. And that's only the recorded ones. There are lots of people walking around with hernias that don't know it's a hernia and don't bother to tell anyone. They just live with it. So estimate that's not me saying that, that's the research.
No, and the research is true. I'm be 32 this year. I had my first surgery when I was 23, 24, and in the last 7 years I've had 4 hernias. I've had 4 hernias repaired. I had 2 repaired in 2012 and I had another 2 repaired in November of last year when I had my permanent ostomy surgery, and I now think I'm developing my 5th hernia on the right hand side. And
see, yeah, I was going to say the thing is as well, I mean, we get some nurses that think that supportwear shouldn't be available on prescription, and they think it should only be available when you've got a hernia. And the reason we're doing the Pants to Hernias campaign is to try to educate, to share the clinical studies that show that wearing supportwear is very preventative. It's not guaranteed that you won't get a hernia because there's lots of risk factors, but it does definitely reduce your risk. And it's a very cost-effective way, and prevention should always be better than management. If you look at the costs of hernia, socially, psychologically, and it's not great. And if you need hernia surgical repair, the costs skyrocket. And unfortunately, the statistics also show that you've just been testament to, Louise, that often the surgery is not that successful. The statistics show that hernia repair surgically, you are now much more likely to get another hernia than somebody who hasn't had one repaired.
No, so, and I'm also more likely. I'm also more likely.
Sorry, you might as well protect somebody and try and prevent one. And it's just the costs are not, they just don't compare. So it's trying to get that message across to nurses so that they're more willing to help patients get products on prescription.
Well, I read your clinical. I read your clinical study because I used to work in radio I used to work in the hospital. I used to like reading studies, and I read your parasternal hernia quality of life research, and I thought it was really good. And it's good that you did a campaign like based on research, and it's it's like it, because I've got a hernia, so I've got a prolapse and I've had 8 refashions, and that's something I want to talk to you about it's not just hernias but prolapse prevention as well, because a lot of people, there's a lot of us that have prolapse, and it's not, again, it's hernias, more people have hernias, but if you've got a hernia you've got far more chance of getting a prolapse. And all my refashion surgeries have failed, 8 have failed, and now I just live with it, and it's frustrating, but it's so important, the prevention, because, and that's what I say to everybody, it's like the lifting, anybody I speak to just have surgery, it's so important to not really important, because I'm sure that's what me being stubborn, because I'm very stubborn, is why I think I ended up having my prolapse, and I swam like 50 lengths straight off.
It's not, Rachel, it's not down to stubbornness. At the end of the day, you know, you're like me, you've had that many surgeries, you've been opened up that many times. I have no central abdominal muscles whatsoever. My obliques are what are holding in what is left of my insides, and they're not designed to hold in your stomach and your intestines and whatever else is in there. They're not designed to hold that in. That's what your central abdominal muscles are for. That's why you have core muscles, because they are the stronger muscles of the two. So
that's where your supportwear comes in.
Yeah. So they're like Steffi said, they're the corset for holding in your inside. So when you've got the obliques and they've been put back together, and obviously I've had sepsis, and you know, I haven't got a lot of my obliques left either. It's just all been pulled round. I'm prone to getting hernias because they keep going in through the same lines, the surgery lines. So of course that's weak, and that's where the hernias are coming back through. And it doesn't have to be heavy lifting. You only have to turn wrong or stretch wrong to get a hernia.
That's true. But I think
I've known people that have sneezed, and like early hours Friday morning after my gig, I'd only had 2 pints, so I wasn't drunk, but the way I was taking off, having to peel off my skinny jeans, I actually felt like a snap behind my stomach, and it was terrifying. It was so painful. And I genuinely think that if I wasn't wearing my vest from Comfort, I would have probably had a hernia. It was ridiculous.
I got my peristomal hernia through blowing my nose, trying to clear a blockage. I tried everything for like a day and a half, and it was the one day I didn't have my protective garments on, and I felt it rip when I blew my nose. I cleared the blockage, but I felt like my whole intestine had came through into the bag. And then, and it was only the next day when I was driving that I felt like I went over a pothole and I actually felt a tear. So it was like, it was the one day that I didn't wear my protective stuff that it happened. And I go training, I lift heavy weights, and I put on all the proper stuff. You know, I'll wear my vanilla blush vests, and I'll wear one of them Highline weightlifting ones, you know, the one that Blake Beckford advertises. So, so when it comes to, you know, weight training, I'm really careful, and whenever I'm lifting anything, I always wear the garments, but just that one time. And it's literally like Steffi said then, a sneeze, a blow of the nose.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when you sneeze, you can feel your abdomen pushing out. Yeah, I have to hold my tummy now, because, you know, I can feel my peristomal hernia pushing really hard. Like,
it's the weirdest feeling to describe as well. It's
horrible. Yeah.
Because it's an equivalent of, you feel like there's something moving in there and pushing about, then you've got the pain bit that goes with it, and then you've got the bit where it's coming back in as well.
Yeah.
So,
but with the Supportwear, the reason why I struggle with the Supportwear is because I've got this 8-inch prolapse. It pushes on it and it causes pain, and because my bag, I'm emptying my bag constantly because it's full up mainly of the prolapse. It's frustrating because it's sort of, I can find that Supportwear can be, because I've got to be careful it doesn't get cut off, you know, because it's still there.
Yeah.
So it's have you looked into prolapses? Because I think there's
not as much as hernias, I have to say. No, I mean, you know, we did recently the Comfy Shield.
Steffi
which some people have got really sensitive stomas and they don't like anything to touch them. So the Comfy Shield is quite good for that. Okay. But obviously, if your prolapse is that big, then the Comfy Shield is going to prolapse. So it's not going to be that helpful for that. But no, I haven't really looked into prolapse. Our level 3 belts.
A lot of us, yeah,
the level 3 belts are the only garments we have that actually have a hole to pull your bag through, because they're so firm. You could really squash your bag. So you pull the bag through the hole, but we have what's called a prolapse cover, which is another strong elastic that stretches back over reinstate some support where it's missing with the hole, and that's like a compromise, but that's the only garment that we would put a hole in.
I might try that out, because that's what my trouble with Vanilla Blush and others is that with a prolapse, it's what I get a lot of leaks anyway, so there's more chance of leaks. But also, you know, in your study, you said about participants about exercising and like kind of holding themselves when they sneeze. What kind of exercises did you get them to do in the study?
We didn't perform the study because we didn't want to bias it. It was done independently by a nurse at Queen's Hospital, and she saw 100 patients over 12 months, and she was the one that was giving them the advice. She's got there's something in our brochure, I think it's in our brochure, but she showed, it might be in our study brochure, about how to gently build up very, very gentle exercises, but she gave all that advice, and place regular underwear with light support wear for you every day. And then when you know, if you've got a manual job, then wear a level 2 or something firmer. If you're going to do some exercise or activities, then wear something firmer.
Yeah, because we didn't
give the advice for exercise.
Okay, because I wondered what exercise they were, because when I read it, I thought that was really interesting, and that it's almost like a bit of a program, isn't it, that she gives, that from the study, like with your support garment as well. It was just, I thought it was interesting. I just wondered what exercises they were.
No, she's got the brochure now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look through the brochure, but it hasn't got the this hasn't got the diagram. I mean, the nurse involved a physio at the hospital to do the exercise program, so I wouldn't advise on that, because I'm not qualified to do that. But I know she advised to exercise very, very gently. That's the key. And
I guess it's similar to the Core 4, the Coloplast Core 4. Maybe it's similar to that.
It will be. It will be.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for support,
When I'm with my stuff, so obviously I've only just trying to catch up with my posts that I'd scheduled when I went away. This is where I'm like a walking, talking advert now, but like I use Comfort for support wear. I like Vanilla Blush and NHS prescription wear because they're comfortable. I like to go to sleep in them. I wear Jasmine Stacey collection if I want to feel really pretty and stuff. But like
adult shenanigans.
Yeah. So like, because you've got like, this is the large waistband, 10-inch I think depth.
Yep.
That's really good if you're wearing if you have to wear a larger bag during day to day. You just see I've got just my pile here. I have all the colours, however, so this is just a small selection of what I have. And then the smaller one.
You've got more than us there, Steffi.
Probably. I've got the small one. This one has a silicone strips that keep it in place. They're good for people that only need a small one.
Steffi, all the waistbands going forward are going to have the silicone in like tiny little dots, which don't come off like the strips. And we'll have all the depths and all the colours with silicone going forward. That's
great.
Yeah, because they're just a better product.
What do you mean by going forward? I don't understand.
At the moment, the original waistband didn't have silicone in it.
Okay.
And it's fine. It's absolutely fine. But we started to put silicone in to hold it in place and stop it from rolling and moving. Right. And that's proved to be better, and most people prefer that. But we only introduced it in one colour, the sizes. Yeah. But because it's been so successful. So
going forward, you mean like in the future? Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
I thought I was missing something there.
I don't know if this will show.
You need to go from the camera here.
The camera's there. Can you see the dots?
Yeah.
That's how the silicone sort of holds.
They're definitely going to work better than the strips.
Yeah.
It's like if we show for instance of what would be level 1 or support. Level 1 is literally something that you tuck your stoma bag into, and it just sort of sucks everything in. So it's like your control pants that you get from
like a flattener,
Primark, or for instance the Vanilla Blush knickers like these. These are what are your level 1 support. Vanilla Blush do other hernia support. I know they do a stage 3 with the vest because I wear that myself. The vest is currently in the washing machine at the moment, so that's why I haven't got that. So that's what your stage 1 is. So that's literally for you to tuck in your bag and just gives you a little bit of control. Now your stage 2.
My boxes are stage 2. I wear these when I go running or doing any exercise because they're firmer.
Steffi's got the way damn sight more comfortable stuff than I have. So, you know, stage 2, or for the men, maybe preferably, because there's not a lot of men boxers and support wear out there apart from the belts. You've got that, which is your stage 2. So that's for if you're going a bit more heavy duty and not just sitting about in your PJs.
Can I just step in there, Louise? Because there's a lot of confusion. Comfy's originated the level 1, level 2, level 3 scenario with staged support. And then other companies have realised that there needs to be different levels of support. But the trouble is that we're all doing different levels. Yeah. So what we call a level 2 is not the same as another company's level 2, and what we call a level 3 is. So the nurses are actually getting confused about it all now. So saying that as well, shortly.
I have to admit,
go into too much.
Comfys, you yourself, you have the level 1, level 2, level 3 guide in your booklets. It's the same as Vanilla Blush also have the level 1, level 2 and level 3 guide on their website.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the amount of compression that
it's different.
Comfy's level 2 gives is not the same as the amount of compression that another company's level 2 gives. We're all different.
Okay, so why are they all running by the same guide?
Sorry? Because everybody gets their products made in a different way, in a different factory. The companies aren't collaborating, but it's like if you get a small medium from one company and say you get a small medium from Primark and a small medium from Marks and Spencer's. Yeah. Or, you know, there's difference, and it's the same in the compressions. But we are about to set an industry standard in what a level 1 actually is.
Oh no, that's good then, because if people are buying stuff from other companies that aren't as medically based as what your company is, then they're getting the wrong advice. So you're giving the right advice, and the other company's not giving the wrong advice, but they've got the level of compressions and the level of support wrong. It's
not necessarily wrong, isn't it? It's just
different levels. Yeah.
You'd have to try each product to sort of find your happy medium, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but what I've got
boxes from Vanilla Blush that have the pocket at the front, and they're more of a sort of flatten and hold in. Yeah, I've got boxes with the band that come right up past your belly button, and you know, like if I was wearing a tight t-shirt, you wouldn't even see the hernia. So it's all. I think it's all about trial and error. I'd like to try a number of them and just sort of, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, but we
absolutely. That's what I was saying earlier. It's about personal choice, and there needs to be a range of styles and products. But what I meant was, for the nurses to take support wear seriously, for the NHS to prescribe support wear, they need a measure. What is a level 1? How much compression is it giving? And what is the amount of compression that it's safe to give that actually reduces hernias? Because below that amount of compression, it might not make any difference. Above that might be too much. But nobody can say that to the nurses because there isn't a measure at the moment.
Who decides what the standard is? That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the industry that's bringing that out. The industry will have to go to each of the companies that are promoting support wear and saying that they are making support wear to these level of degrees, and those industries will be sorting that out and then telling them what they have to grade it to. Would that be correct?
That's right. It needs to be standardized, and that's what Comfys are doing at the moment.
No, that's brilliant to know, because, you know, all of us, you know, ostomates as ourselves who don't have any medical background or medical training, we don't know that. So we're being told by the stoma nurses or online that, yeah, that's the stage 3.
Yeah, and
we are getting that.
The nurses don't. The nurses aren't garment specialists. That's not what they were trained in. So, you know, I'm not saying the nurses are ignorant. They're not. They've been trained in the medical side of stoma care. We're the garment specialists, and we just need to get together and share the information so that the nurses understand what the garments give and how they work.
Well, no, because that's good, because at the same time, ostomates that are prone to hernias or do have hernias, if they're getting stuff from other companies and it's not an industry standard across the board, then those patients could be suffering more for wearing stuff that could technically be incorrect.
Yeah, Yeah, they might not be getting the support they think they're getting, and the nurses might think that they're giving a certain amount of support, but the nurses aren't sure. So this is what companies are working on, and it will be addressed shortly.
No, that's really
There's
good
lots
to know.
of things on hold at the moment, but there's a lot going on. We're very, very busy over at Comfy's HQ.
No, that's really good to know, because I've had a lot of abnoplasty. So the 2 belts that I have, I do are stage 2 and stage 3 that have been recommended by plastics.
Yeah.
The ones that I've got aren't originally for stomas. They've given to me them to me after stoma surgery, but they are actually for the abnoplasty that I've had done, and the stomach reconstruction and everything else. So the white one that I've got is considered stage 3, and they've said that I can wear that if I was to go back to the gym and for heavy lifting if I was doing a manual job. Whereas the level 2, what would the level 2 be considered as? What would that be safe to use? How would you use that? What would that be safe to do? What are you safe to do?
It depends on what that level 2 is compared to our level 2.
Yeah, I know, that's why I'm asking.
Steffi can describe to you what it's like wearing a level 1 boxer, say, compared to a level 2 boxer. What would you say, Steffi? How do you find them wearing them?
Well, level 1, I don't feel like I'm wearing anything, to be honest. And for day-to-day use, that's what it's supposed to feel like. And for me, level 2, it doesn't feel as tight as like fat pants or what, you know, or anything like that, because I have one, obviously them. And
so you're saying a level 2 doesn't feel anywhere near as restrictive as the commercial kind of Spanx type support pants?
No. And level 3, because I'm pretty sure I have at least one level 3 item, just so I could say I tried it.
Yeah.
That's the only one that remotely feels tight. I mean, I think that's just because it is just too much for what I need. Because
our level 3 was designed really for people who've got a hernia to be able to support and hold that hernia in. And the important thing can I just say about a level 3 belt, if you've got a hernia, it's really important how you put the garment on. You need to just lay the belt flat on the bed and lie on top of it and just stay there for a few minutes until your hernia relaxes in. Whilst you're in that position, you then pull your belt round over your waist and stand up, so that the belt is keeping the hernia in rather than standing up and trying to push it in with the belt. That's the correct way to put your level 3 belt on. But also a level 3 belt we would recommend to people who have got a very job, or if they're going to be doing something like weightlifting or, you know, heavy sports. Really, it's not the most comfortable garment to wear all day like the level 1s and level 2s are.
I think this is a level 3. This is CUI wear. This is what they gave me with the prolapse and hernia. I don't know who the company is, but it says CUI wear.
Right. Yeah.
See, but that's and like, you put your hands in and wrap it over. But I lay down and put it in while the prolapse is in and try and keep it like you said.
That's the right way. Yeah.
That's right. Rachel, have you ever found when you stand up with a level 3 support, once you've laid down and put it on, that you can't move? It's a bit of a struggle to get yourself up off the bed because it's so tough. This thing is so rigid. So when you've put it on and you stood up, not only does it take you down about a dress size, it also I always find them very restricting. I hate them. I don't like them, but I have to wear them.
Yes,
I think it's like with my prolapse, because it takes up the majority of the bag. When you put a belt on, it's kind of the bag that's left is like easy to burst. I think that's the problem with having a prolapse, because the bag's full all the time.
Yeah.
Because
that's the only problem. And and there isn't anything for prolapses. But I'm going to try your level 3, the one you talked about. I'm definitely going to buy that and have a go at that, because that might work better.
Is there anywhere that has a level 3 where you can pull the bag through?
That's what our level 3 is. Yeah.
The rich, because it opens up at the bottom.
Right. Okay.
And you could just put a waistband over that, or you could pull your boxers, or you could put any garment over the top of it. Yeah. But it sits alone on your body.
Velcro, and you literally.
I did a video.
which I'll share on Facebook because I haven't shared it yet. That's just reminded me.
Well, that's good. I think because with that, because it's all comes out at the back, I don't know if it's too big for it to cover, but I'll have a look. I'd definitely like to try your belt. I think the level 3 with the gap.
Yeah,
because there's quite a few people that come to me that have got prolapses, and we've said the same. There isn't really anything for us, really, like, you know, that can help with that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a try. Yeah, have a look on the website and look at the level 3 stuff. You'll see the belts. There's 2 depths, but there's 3 different sized holes depending on what bag size you use. But if you don't understand it, and we'll have a chat.
Okay. No, but does that with the level 3? Obviously, with the stoma coming through the bag, obviously coming through the hole. Does that still give you the same level of support? I mean, with me, I'm okay because the hernia sites that I've had are from my old incision lines, and my ileostomy's since been moved. So my ileostomy's on the left, and the hernia sites where they come through are on the right and down the middle, where I've been opened up that many times going down the middle. It keeps coming up through the old surgery line. So with that belt, one, stop the leaks, because that's half the reason why I don't wear my stage 3 belt as much as what I do, is because it flattens the bag, it compresses the bag, I've got high output, and it causes leaks.
Yeah. Well, I think a level 3 belt, the level 3 belt, it's got stabilizing ribs going round to stop it from wrinkling up, and it is quite firm, so you get like 360-degree support all the way round where the belt is. Obviously, you pull your bag through the hole, being squashed, but then there's an elastic prolapse cover that goes back over the bag just to reinstate some support. But the ring where the bag's pulled through kind of presses on the flange, so it helps to seal the bag a bit better on your tummy.
No, that's good to know. No, that's really good to know, because that's good for other people as well, because there are people that say that they wear support wear but they get leaks. So
right.
Because
it's worth a try. It's different strokes for different folks, isn't it? But it isn't the most comfortable garment because it's level 3. It's very, very firm. The most comfortable are the seamless, breathable, stretchy level 1s and level 2s.
Yeah, and they're all different. Like, because I wear the vest, I have my bag out over the top of my trousers, and I put the vest on, because I find that's most comfortable way for me personally to wear trousers, and I'm still then getting the support. And that's, if I wasn't wearing the boxes and briefs, that's how I would wear it at the gym as well. Not that I've been to the gym since having my stoma, and this month I've done nothing, really, annoyingly. I wanted to go out running.
I think it's too early after having a baby anyway, Steffi. You need to pace yourself. You've got enough on your plate.
You're getting told off now.
Yeah, this is Steffi you're talking to. Pace yourself.
Lorraine, what should stoma nurses be advising the patients then? Because obviously the stage 1 and stage 2 for you are for hernia preventatives. The stage 3 is more for those who've already got hernias to hold the hernia in. So what would you normally advise to, I don't know, say, give patients when they first come out of hospital? So those that have had previous hernia repairs, and then had abnoplasty and ileostomies and colostomies and everything else, what would you advise that they need to wear when they come out of hospital?
Okay, usually for a straightforward stoma surgery, when they come out of hospital, obviously everything's tender. So you would start introducing the concept of support wear with our very lightest garment is the waistband. That's the lightest of the level 1 garments. I would say just replace regular underwear with briefs or boxers, level 1. They are giving support, but they're not restrictive in any way. And then when you're fully recovered, up and about, active, switch up and down to a level 2 when you're active and back to a level 1. For people who've had hernia repair, they are more likely to herniate again. So I would say to get them into a level 2 as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And just wear that all the time.
But what definition is all the time? Because obviously I've been told that I'm supposed to wear
throughout the day, instead of instead of regular underwear, just wear your level 2. And then obviously when you go to bed, you don't have to wear anything, but if you could, wear a waistband just to keep everything, you know, slightly supported while you sleep.
No, that's good to know, because obviously trying to wear some of the higher waisted support knickers, the vests are easier to wear to bed, aren't they? You know, coming from a woman's point of view, the vests are easier to wear to bed.
They can be, but then they can be quite hot as well. It depends, you know, in the winter it's probably fine, but a lot of people like the waistbands for bedtime because they're not too hot, they're not restrictive.
And it's easier to empty as well because it's not tucked into anything. Well, obviously it's tucked into the waistband, but the waistband, because you've got the bottom, it's easier to pull up and to empty your bag than what it is to wear knickers or vests.
Lots of people really like wearing the comfort shield for bed because it means they can sleep on the front again. Loads of people have said that.
That's right.
Absolutely loads.
Yeah, that, you know, that was something. This happens all the time. We develop products based on, we think we're developing it for a certain purpose, and then when it's out in circulation, we start getting feedback with benefits that we hadn't even thought of. And that's one, you're right, Steffi, about the comfy shield. People are saying they're actually wearing it in bed, and I thought, well, I hadn't designed it to be worn in bed, but it meant that they could lie on their side they hadn't been able to before and lie on their tummy. That's great. And it actually, some people have said that they were getting up several times through the night because of the bag being pulled and whatnot, and for some reason wearing the comfy shield with a waistband over the top, pulled during the night, they could sleep in any position and they were getting a better night's sleep. So go figure, it wasn't designed for that, but
I mean,
it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, what about you, Steve? I mean, from a man's point of view with regards to sleeping and, you know.
To be honest, I don't use anything at the moment when I'm sleeping. I find I get too warm. I like to be free and easy in bed, no garments, and just risk it. But it would all depend on the level of comfort I get from my bags, really.
I mean, because do you suffer with your hernia?
My hernia, yeah, occasionally, yeah. Most of the time, I'd say 80% of the time, it's absolutely fine. But
I mean, how does that work when you go to bed of a night time? Because I know for a fact with the hernias that I had, laying down of a night time made it worse because you had to support it a certain way. And I think, Rachel, you have the same problem with sleeping with your prolapse, don't you?
Yeah, it's a bit, I have to sort of, I lie on one side, but because I've got the two bags, either side, I still lie on it now. But when you lie down, the stoma retracts back, the prolapse retracts back in a little bit. You know, it's when I stand up, it all comes out again. It's a bit like the hernias. The hernias retract a bit as well when you lie down for longer, and then when you stand up, it might throughout the day go out a little bit more. Then I've experienced that as well.
Mine's more comfortable when I'm lying down, to be honest, than it is when I'm standing up.
But I mean,
have you had, isn't it?
But have you had to change the way you sleep because of it? Have you had? Because obviously I know yours is quite bad.
I don't think so. Well, I don't know. I don't think so because I sort of actually, yeah, I kind of lie and then I will put my leg right up. I think like by my boobs sort of thing, and then I support it that way. But I think I'll just sleep now. I used to just stay on my left side where my urostomy was, like on the edge of the bed, and I stayed like that because the prolapse. But now I realise that I like sleeping the other side, and I don't really. I probably have more accidents because I do sleep on the prolapse side sometimes, but really I should sleep on the other side. But I kind of think of 5 years, like I've had my prolapse for like and hernia for like 4 years, and I've had it for 5, and I want to sleep normal now, you know. And if I have a few more accidents, then I just sleep what's comfortable.
Do you wear a waistband or anything at night, Rachel? If
I did, I would be having like an accident in an hour. I would have to empty every hour because it just gets so full. You know, there's no chance I'll be able to wear one because it just gets full too quickly.
What about you, Steve?
Understanding how the waistband would affect your bag filling.
I think because the prolapse is full, because the bag's full anyway with the prolapse. If I get output coming into the bag, and if I've got a waistband on, then it will press it and leak outwards. I think because the bag's full already, it's like I've got a full bag constantly.
More pressure.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Rachel's
yeah.
prolapse is like a 8 to 10 inch prolapse, so it practically fills the entire bag. She's only got a little bit of bag for that.
I understand that. Have you actually tried a waistband though? Because we get a lot of people who say that they think that the support wear will restrict the flow, or anyone that's tried it has never actually said that's happened.
Actually,
especially with the waistband, because it's very light.
I've got your Converse waistband, but I've never used it at night. But I've used it in the daytime, and I found that they're okay. But I must have got level 1, and it's not strong enough for me. But I haven't tried it at night. Maybe I need to try one at night and see if that helps. No,
you don't need to. I was just curious to know if you did wear anything at night.
No, I've never even thought about trying it, but because I'm too afraid that I'll have more accidents. But it's something to think about, because now surgery is no longer an option for the hernia or the prolapse. So it's something that I need to look at, because it's going to get worse and worse. You know, I know that, and maybe that's something I need to look at, because I have got one here somewhere. I'm not sure where it is.
And what about you, Steve, with your peristomal hernia? Have you found that sleeping on your back is easier than sleeping on your front or side?
You know what? I always go to sleep on my right-hand side. That's where my hernia is, and my stoma. And I always wake up on my left-hand side or on my back. I never ever go to sleep on my back. I think my snoring would be too much.
Wake you up.
Yeah, I'll probably wake myself up. But now, to be honest, my sleeping's fantastic now. You know, it's really could come on somewhat within the last 6 months. I kind of just wake up to empty, and that's it. If I really need to,
I think
your body knows, doesn't it?
Do you all need to? Do you get disrupted sleep from having to empty your bag through the night? Will it not go through the night?
No,
no.
Louise and me are similar. Like I put an alarm on. Like I go to bed and I'll put 3 hours later. I'll put an alarm on to make sure, because my urostomy attaches to a night bag, so that's fine. That's connected. But I was going to say,
are there not night bags for the ileostomy?
There is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do that.
I'm allergic.
Have you noticed? Sorry. This is a question for all four of you. Well, obviously, just the people with stomas. Have you noticed your bag will fill to a level where nothing else will come out? Now, as soon as you empty it, it will continue to. It's kind of like your stoma switches off as soon as your bag is full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you've emptied it, it will go right in. There's room now, so I'll let a bit more out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's really strange. That's like muscle memory of your stoma, I think.
I'll tell you what, that's really true, Steve, because I get up twice in the night, and it's normally within an hour of me emptying the last bag and getting up and having to empty again, because it's just gone free round. I'm like, where the hell has this all come from? But I
could be at work. I have to walk like 30 steps to get to the toilet.
It's when you have to hold it, isn't it? It's like carrying a baby to the toilet.
Yeah. I'll go to the toilet, and then I'll walk all down the steps, and I get to the bottom, and I think, God, it's half full again. What's going on? You know, should have stayed upstairs for a bit longer. But I suppose it's keeping you fit, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your body goes, right, well, that's full now, so I'll wait.
With the last 10 minutes, we haven't really touched on the gym, and obviously the only two that have gone to the gym with this stoma is Rachel, because she's a mad woman, and Steve. So what's it like with you two going to the gym with your stoma?
I've probably I haven't been this month, but I've been going for like the last 2 or 3 months, and it's okay. I wear that belt, and I'm trying to get back to exercise, but I find afterwards the prolapse is just, I can't run. I went to a running club last week, and it was just so painful. Like I running too much, but the exercise gives a bit more support in the gym. But I enjoyed it. I think as long as I've got some wear, it's okay, and I like to do it more. But at the moment, I think something's shifted. I'm a lot more bloated than usual, so I'm just kind of taking it easy, and the prolapse seems to be getting bigger. So I sort of wonder whether I should, how often I should do it. But no, I do. I miss the gym. I used to, before I got ill, I was at the gym all the time. So if I can get some sort of, it's just frustrating with my prolapse. If I didn't have it, I would be at the gym all the time. But when having it, I just got to make sure I don't cut off any blood supply and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But how about you, Steve?
Me, if I'm doing cardio, then I just put my vanilla blush vest on. Really, I tend not to wear the boxers because they're they're a bit too thick for that sort of movement around my legs. But and then when I'm weight training, I put on my bigger belts, because obviously I've got a hernia. I don't want to get it any worse. I don't want to cause another one. But no, I mean, I'm really comfortable. I'm never happier than when I'm in the gym, to be honest. It's a therapy for me. So obviously protection's, you know, the main thing, really. But,
Yeah,
I mean, I went for 18 months, I did, and I've had like about 2.5 months where I haven't been to the gym, and I've missed it chronically, and I've just gone back. Like I've been back about a week and a half, and can't wait.
Do you feel
like?
Sorry, I'm just asking the question how you feel with your, is it a level 3 belt that you wear for your weightlifting?
It's very, I'm not sure what level it is, you know. When I got that, that's obviously the Blake Beckford one, that is. It's really stretchy. I mean, it's quite tight.
Yeah.
But it holds everything in. I can't even feel my hernia underneath it.
Right.
So it is quite bulky. It's not
giving you enough support.
Oh, definitely. It's not the sort of thing you could wear under a shirt though, because it is quite stiff. You know, but training it's perfect for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
no, it sounds ideal.
You know, when you're lifting weights, you know, you're straining your core.
Absolutely.
And you know, I'm fully aware that I don't want to damage that anymore than it already is.
Yeah. You need something to be pushing it back in, don't you?
I mean, because I go to.
But with the regular training and the cardio and cross trainer, it's just my vanilla blush vests really that I wear.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, with boxers, it's if you need the loo, then you have to take them right the way down, and if it's coming up halfway up your chest, it's kind of awkward. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It'd be different with pants. Yeah. Obviously, that's a different scenario.
Yeah, it's just finding what's right for you. I actually hear people say the opposite, that they find sometimes the vests are too hot to train in, and they love the high waist boxers or the high waist briefs just to support them. And then, you know, it's finding what's comfortable for you. But the exercise is brilliant because you're releasing endorphins, which is what makes you feel good. Yeah, and that's what you miss.
Well, Lorraine, to be honest, as far as the heat goes, right, I'm training, so the more sweat that I can lose, the better. You know what I mean? I mean, I've trained before.
As long as you hydrate well.
Of course, in dustbin bags with a jumper on top, you know, just to lose water. Oh, yeah, you got it. This is way before my stoma though. Yeah. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. You know, releasing a bit of sweat. That's all part and parcel of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but you have to be careful with your hydration, though, haven't you?
Of course, yeah. I'll drink loads when I'm in the gym.
Lorraine, what sort of support would you advise for like going swimming or for water aerobics?
We don't have, as I say, we're bringing out the swimwear, which is really nice, firm support wear that looks good. It completely camouflages the bag. I think that will be ideal. But until that comes out, again, it's one of those scenarios where we never envisaged it being used for that, but it's the waistband. A lot of people were putting the waistband on and then putting just ordinary swimwear on top, because swimwear itself, non-stoma swimwear, just general swimwear, is actually quite supportive fabric. But for some reason, a lot of people like to wear the waistband as well. I don't know if it's a confidence issue. We had a young girl, she was about 10 years old, and she was a competitive swimmer, and she'd got a stoma, and her mum said she wouldn't get in the pool without a waistband underneath the swim costume. And I don't really understand why, but I mean, men often wear the boxers. The high waist boxer comes above where the board short type swim trunks would be, but it kind of looks like an extension of an inner waistband.
Yeah.
So it covers the bag up and enables them to wear ordinary boxers, but they're getting the support then. So a
lot of people just might not want it to be shown, have their bag on shown. So it might not even be more of a confidence thing than an actual support.
Yeah. But I think obviously if you're wearing a boxer or a waistband underneath swimwear, you've got it's very different to exercising outside anyway, because the water supports your weight, takes away the gravity.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're as at risk from exercising in the water as you are out of water in terms of the support you need. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else have we got to cover now? We've got about 5 minutes left, haven't we?
No,
I think that was everything.
That was everything this evening. But it's good to know, and it's good to have Lorraine on the show with regards to the supportwear, because I don't think the stoma nurses or in general your GPs or anything like that advertise the fact that it needs to be worn and that it should be worn.
No, they don't.
As a preventative. And you know, coming from a girl that when I first had my hernias is because my stoma nurse told me that I wasn't allowed to have support wear because I didn't have a hernia, and then I got a hernia.
Yeah, it's crazy. And
then got told, well, no, you know, the support wear is not going to do you any good anymore. So it's
crazy.
It's good to know.
What we've done with the Pants to Hernias campaign, it is because of what we've learned about how many people get in hernias and how much support wear can actually help. There was resistance from the nurses because they didn't understand and they were conscious of the cost to the NHS. So we've took it on our backs. The waistbands. We're saying to the nurses, look, please just take a waistband. Give every new patient a waistband. Let them decide. Let them try support wear just to understand
because
exists. And B, that it's actually comfortable to wear. And then we'll talk to them after that and we'll explain everything to them.
It's not that. I think some of the trusts are, I'm under Guy's and St Thomas's, so they've promoted support wear to me from prior to having the operation done. So they gave me the Comfies booklets and said, this is what you need for hernia support and to prevent the hernias. And then they've given me Jasmine Stacey and said, this is for intimate moments, and you know, other companies, and this is for your day-to-day and everything else. But 9 times out of 10 I only know what I know about the hernia support wear because I've had that much abnoplasty and inner repair and had to wear level 3 for 6 weeks after having major plastic surgery done, that I know about the support wear and what needs to be worn as a preventative, whereas most people don't. It's like you say,
right, they don't.
I found out about support wear before my surgery purely from the Stoma Wise website. I think Rachel Clements did a blog post on it, and she spoke about that you could get some on prescription, things like that. And my friend Louise, my local friend Louise with Crohn's, she I remember being put in hospital one time with her, and I was like, did you know this? And she was like, no. So like,
no, a lot of nurses that they either don't know or they know, but they say that they think that new patients have got enough to take on board and they don't want to overwhelm them and frighten them with hernia. But I think I don't know. Obviously, it's a case-on-case basis. They can judge whether somebody's able to take that on board and won't be too frightened. But I think it's almost neglectful if you know that they're at high risk of having a hernia and you don't give them the information.
Yeah. Can I just say something before we close? I just got a message through from Kelly, and she said that she goes swimming every Wednesday, Lorraine, and she said that she's actually worn the Comfies band, and it works really well.
Oh, right, great.
She said it gives a more streamlined feel in the pool. So she told me to tell you. So she's
Thank you. That's always good to know. We love the feedback.
I mean, and Steve, yourself, was you given any paperwork, anything like prior to your surgery?
No, none at all. None at all. No, and obviously you've just come out of surgery. It's not something that you're going to ask, is it?
No, well, you don't know what you don't know.
If you think about it,
know, would you?
If you think about it, you just come out of surgery. You've had a brand new stoma, hole in your stomach. You're probably at the most risk then, aren't you? Really? Okay, you're not going to be doing much lifting and that, but you've only got to move wrong and you could tear, and you're at risk straight away. So yeah, it is really important. I think it's definitely worth.
Yeah, sorry. Before we close, I'd just like to say at the study that took place at Queen's Hospital London, In the year that they did the study where they introduced Supportwear, they gave everybody comfies to wear when they went home and advised that they wear them all the time. Their incidence in the 12 months prior to the study was only 23%, which is actually very, very low compared to the national average, because they were really proactive in educating their patients. But even despite that, the 12 months that their patients were wearing comfies, at the end of that 12 months, the incidence was 1%.
That's fantastic.
It is. It really, really does make a difference. It is.
Yeah.
You cannot guarantee that somebody's not going to get a hernia just because they're wearing Supportwear, but you can dramatically reduce the chances.
Of course, yeah. The
That's
more
why we're
people
so
that know, the
passionate
better.
about what we're doing. Yeah. It's information, and then it's up to you, isn't it?
I was probably 6 months in before I realised that there was Supportwear available, you know, on prescription as well.
Yeah. And I never knew I had a hernia or I had a hernia before the prolapse, and I never knew it was a hernia. It wasn't until same with a prolapse. I didn't realise it was a prolapse until, and lots of people don't realise they have hernias because there's a bump. Realise, and I think I've always loved your campaign. I saw it last year because I'm in Bournemouth and I heard about it at the AGM meeting with their stoma nurses. So I heard about it from my stoma nurses because I was in hospital like 7 months last year. So they talked about it with me. And so I heard about it a while ago. And I really liked, I think it's just preventative measure is just the key, is the way to go for prolapses and hernias.
It's morally right for people to have prevention, but it's so much more cost effective as well in the long run. So much more cost effective.
It's not that the average for a hernia repair for surgery anyway, dependent, especially for stoma patients with the adhesions, scar tissue, the risks that are involved in going back in there to do it. It can be double the length of repair surgery and more cost than what it is to pay out for a couple of pairs of NHS stage 2 or stage 3 support boxes or vests.
Oh, completely. We did a very rough cost comparison of if everybody had 6 support garments a year price compared to if just 10% of people had a hernia repaired, and it came out at something like 45 million versus 1.6 million. I mean, it was just ridiculous, the difference. But you've got to get that message across to the right people in the NHS who are in charge of the purse strings to understand that. Yeah,
unfortunately, it's not down to the hospitals with regards to stuff that the patients aren't getting. It's down to the GP practices.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they like to hold on to their budgets because to be fair, you know, the budgets are being squeezed tighter and tighter. But if they could understand that, you know, saving the money in the short run is costing them more in the long run.
And it's having the time as well. It's like it's the stoma nurses having the time to talk about it, you know, and sometimes they don't want, it's not right, but they don't want to sit down and tell a patient all of this stuff. But it's important that they know. And I've had arguments with my stoma nurses about telling people about hernias because we've had discussions about it before, and my stoma nurses aren't brilliant, as the girls know, and Steve, but they're not brilliant. We don't see eye to eye, but they don't like talking about things if they're not happening, you know. And sometimes that's not how it should be.
My stoma nurses, they literally all she knew about really was the Blake Beckford one, and that's literally because she fancied him. She couldn't wait to pass me a poster, and it was a really good belt, but I weren't going to be training at the start, so it was just too much for you know, a brand new stoma. It's perfect for weight training, but that was further down the line. But yeah, she couldn't wait to get that poster. But there wasn't any literature in the hospital. There is now.
Okay.
Right, good. Oh, well, that's progress.
We're going to have to wrap up because we've overrun by 5 minutes. Sorry. We'd like to say thank you ever so much to Lauren. Lauren, I was about to say Lauren's coming on next week.
It's near enough. It's near enough. Thank you very much for having me on.
It's my brain.
Really enjoyed it.
Lorraine, thank you ever so much for coming on. It's been brilliant having you and having statistics and having, you know, the correct advice for people for what is a stage 1 to what is a stage 3.
I know there's a lot of confusion.
I'll talk to you briefly after we finished. But it's brilliant information to know. So for those of you watching with regards to hernias, Supportwear, go to Comforts online, have a look, have a look at Steffi's blog posts regarding the reviews that she has done, because at the end of the day, some of the stuff is fantastic and it is there for a reason. It's there to help you. It's there to prevent hernias as well as to support the hernias that you may have. Also, for those of you that have prolapses, have a look, because there still may be an option for you with regards to getting that additional support that is needed to help protect your prolapse and try to stop it from getting any bigger than what it currently is. So please have a look. Now, next week, we are covering hobbies, sports, anything personal hobby sportings, rock climbing, horse riding. We also have the fantastic Lauren Henderson again from Purple Wings charity joining us. So please do join us.
I might skip that one because all she's going to do is talk about horses, and horses are terrifying.
No, they're not. There is nothing wrong with horses. So we will be talking about that next week, as well as sports. So there'll be things like football, cricket,
darts, snooker.
Darts isn't a sport.
Darts, you can hurt your stomach doing darts.
Yeah, you could.
No, you can, but how many dart players have had a lot?
Yeah, but when you're picking up your drink, you might strain your hernia.
I'm going to get lynched now for saying that all darts players like to drink.
I know, yeah. That's it now, the amount of complaints.
Well, we've got the lovely Lauren joining us next week. For those of you, please contact Comfys or email Steffi or message Steffi or any one of us, and we'll pass the message on with regards to getting into contact with Comfys with regards to hernia support. So we'd like to say thank you. Thanks, Lorraine. And thanks, guys, for joining us. We're going to say bye for this evening.
Have a beautiful time.
Thanks, Lorraine.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. See you next week.